Rockwall Ford is a proud sponsor of Rockwall County Game Day. Shop the rock and score game-changing savings on our all-American lineup of new Fords. Shop our entire inventory online at rockwallford.com or build your truck your way at preordermyf150.com.
Hello and welcome to More Than Just a Game. Chris Pena, Rockwall County Game Day. We're live here at Rockwall Ford, and I jumped the gun on Mr. James Branch, and he's joining me. He's joining us now. We are, we're live here at Rockwall Ford. Mr. Branch, sorry about that, man. I hit the button to go live, and then I looked at the time, and then I was trying to text you quickly to say, "Hey, you ready?"
And then my phone was sitting right here.
And your phone is sitting right there. So that didn't do any good. Anyhow,
sorry about that, man.
No, I apologize because I said 5:15 and here it is 5:12.
Oh yeah, I'm good then.
I know. I did everything wrong. So that's just how it works. What a week it's been. But yeah, man, here we go. We're going to so tonight we're going to start off with some football talk tonight. We're going to talk about 10-6A football, and we will talk about how the standings look, some games that went on this past week, and then we will I got to congratulate some volleyball folks for some things that they've accomplished. At 6-ish, 6:10, 6 o'clock, something like that, we will have Heritage Christian Academy football team in. They will be in. They are undefeated. They are putting up some massive numbers. They are, I believe, I'd have to go back and read my notes, but it's something like 5 or 6 of their games, and they've only played 6 games, didn't go past halftime.
Wow.
Because they have a run roll type deal. So they've just played 2 quarters of football the entire season, every game. So
is that good or bad? I don't know if that's good or bad. Right?
That's a good question. We're going to ask Coach.
Yeah.
We'll have Coach Mack and a few players in here to talk about that. As always, if you're having trouble hearing us, if there's something wrong with the volume, let us know and we will get that fixed. I'm watching the feed on there. Let's see what else. Yeah, so 6 o'clock we'll have them, and we'll end our show with the Eagles, and then we'll go from there. I think that kind of covers what we're going to be talking about. Before we begin, how's everything going?
Good, man. It's
a
great week. Got a whole bunch of notes here. Did a little homework for, I usually do a little bit of homework.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of notes here today. So
I typically don't do any homework, which shows how I try to wing it, just like, it's the games I went to and all the videos that I'm getting, which I owe. God, man, I have so much. Pretty much, we've had somebody at every game. So this past week, we had somebody at the Roy City Heath game. We had somebody at the Rockwall game, and I was at Dallas Christian game. We've kind of done that every week. So I've got video from almost every game, home game, and I need to release some highlights because it's been really good. It's been there's been some fantastic play going on, and so both on the Heath side, Rockwall side, I've got plays from even Roy City in defeat. We've got some highlights, we've got some plays. We need to get those out there certainly as well. I still owe Kane Middle School a video because the 8th grade team, because I've have video on them, as well as Williams, and there's kids out there that have been messaging me being like, hey, where are these videos at? So I've got a lot of work to do. I've got a flight Friday morning, and that's about a 3-hour flight.
You can go ahead and say where you're going.
That's where I like to get work done. So when I land, I'll have some flights. Yes, I'm going to play golf in Utah and Vegas. So I'm looking forward to that. There's a group of us that go a couple of times a year on this Utah/Vegas golf trip. I'll say a couple. There's like 12 to 20 that go. So I think we have 12 going this time. So it's awesome. It's going to be fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. Other than that, we'll watch. We'll see the Cowboys play the 49ers. I'm representing the Cowboys T-shirt today. we'll catch the Stars play while we're there and the Mavs play while we're there. So it'll just be a big group of us cheering on some hometown sports,
hanging out, having a good time. That's
yep,
awesome.
Yep. So anyway, well, let's jump into it. Let's just let's jump into some football here and talk about the standings. Read off there. What do you got? What do you got the current standings as for football?
So I've got the current standings, and then I wrote out what's left, what their current record is, and then obviously my prediction of where I think this thing is going to shake out. But Longview sitting at 3-0, North Forney sitting at 3-0, Rockwall 2-1, Legacy 2-2, Rockwall Heath 1-2, and Forney 1-3, and Royce City at 0-4. And I think the picture is starting to clear up a little bit, but I think it's going to come down to the end of the season for a three-way fight on that fourth spot.
It is,
and it's going to be interesting. And with that being said, Legacy holds; they're in charge of their future. If they're sitting in a good spot right now with a tiebreaker over Rockwall Heath.
Yeah. So let's do this then. Let's start with Longview. And tell me the games they have remaining. Who do they have remaining? And I'm going to try and guess like where I think the total wins and losses throughout the regular season.
Well, they got Rockwall Heath,
okay,
North Forney,
okay,
and Royce City.
All right,
in that order.
Rockwall Heath, North Forney, and Royce City.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I think I still think between where's the North Forney game at? That would be something I need to know. But I think it's possible that they drop a game to if I had to rank them, North Forney, Heath, and Royce City, right? I think I think they're playing for the district championship every week because they're going to have Rockwall right on their tail.
Yep.
So I would be and North Forney as well, right? I mean, if North Forney can beat Longview, that puts them in the driver's seat. Well, then it becomes weird, right? Because
it could get weird.
Yeah, because Rockwall and North Forney, I think they play the last game of the season. If not.
No, Rockwall plays. Yes, North Forney last game of the season.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's lots to be determined there. I would say that Longview has looked like an undefeated team. I think they're going to finish this out. I think the key one there is North Forney because they've looked pretty good. The quarterback looked really good. Put up some big numbers versus Heath, right?
With a name like Legend.
Yeah, I mean, so I think that they have an opportunity I'd say 85% chance that they're going to go undefeated.
That's a good pick. I pick them to go 6-0. I think they're gonna sweep. I think they probably take their starters out at halftime of the Royce City game, just to start getting ready. So that I think they end 6-0 for their first year in 6A, which is going to be very impressive.
Yep. I think so.
Yep.
Now,
all right. You moved to North Forney.
Yeah, North Forney.
They've got Royce City this week, Longview, and Rockwall.
Yep. I think North Forney, their entire season. Listen, I mean, this is no disrespect to Royce City, right? They're obviously. I think a lot of people understand that these next few years are going to be really big for Royce City. I think you're going to see a team that competes. Nothing's going to shock me because of the coaching staff and the amount of time that the kids will be with Coach Colvin and them, that if they pull off an upset or something like that, I certainly think it's possible. But for these purposes, right, North Forney, I say they get a win against Royce City. And who else did you say? Then Rockwall, Longview.
Rockwall.
Longview and Rockwall. This is, I think we're gonna. obviously we'll find out a lot about North Forney. Now, if I say Longview goes undefeated, that means that they lost to Longview.
Mm-hmm.
I still think that Rockwall's got a lot of firepower, and I think Rockwall will. I think Rockwall will have their hands full with that quarterback and the way he likes to run the ball. I expect a high scoring game. I see Rockwall pulls that out. I think they'll finish at 4-2 in the district.
Good pick. I think you're right, and I agree with you. I think when it comes to Royce City, I think we're at a point where we need to finish competitive, like you're talking about. Let's keep building the foundation, and let's keep planting the seeds, and let's keep working towards the greater good. And I think Royce City's going to get there, and there's a lot to be desired there. And but again, I think it takes a little bit of time, and I think overall Royce City's going to be fine in the next year or two. But for the purpose of this season, I think we'll get down to Royce City at the end, but I agree with you. I think North Forney ends up at 4-2. I think they beat Royce City and they drop Longview and Rockwall.
All right, so we got Longview at 6-0 for the rest. If we're just what we're doing is kind of trying to predict the rest of the season. So, and then we just picked North Forney to finish 4-2. All right, who's next? So you got Rockwall.
You got Rockwall sitting at 2-1 right now, and they've got Tyler Legacy, Rockwall, Heath, and North Forney.
Yeah. So one more time. Rockwall's got who?
Tyler Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Rockwall, Heath.
Mm-hmm.
And then North Forney.
Man, they have a tough schedule. And because I think Tyler Legacy, that's going to be a game where obviously it'll be a tough one. I think I've already said that they beat North Forney, so we'll take that one off the table. And then Tyler Legacy, I think they beat Tyler Legacy. And then the I-30 Classic, I'm not ready to pick that game just yet.
Okay.
But I think now
before you pick,
yeah,
we're going to assume if the trend stays like it does, right? They will travel to Tyler Legacy this week.
Mm-hmm.
They'll come home for the I-30 Classic,
mm-hmm.
and then they'll end on the road in North Forney.
Mm-hmm.
Does that change your mind?
Boy, man. No, I think. I mean, listen. I think Rockwall. I mean, I love what Cam. I love the connection that Cam Marsh and Mr. Brent Rickard. I love what they got going on, and Gooch. I love what they got going on in the passing game. They've been running the ball well all year long. And running, if you can run the ball, that travels, right? That can travel. As we get into the colder months and things like that, passing gets a little dicey because now is when we start to get a little mist, a little rain here and there. So I think Rockwall is still, I mean, Longview, they went to Longview and they played a tough one. If that game's here, it's probably tighter and it's probably closer, and who knows what the outcome is. We talked about how tough it is to travel to East Texas and what a venue it is to play at Longview, and it's a true home field advantage over there. So I think Rockwall's right up there with Longview. I think they certainly can beat Longview. So I still think they're at the top of this district, and for that reason, they should be able to go on the road to Tyler Legacy and beat them. They should be able to go on the road to North Forney, who they have traditionally had no problem with, and I think they're going to win those two games. The I-30 Classic, I'm not picking yet,
Right.
So I will say that for sure they have 4 wins with those two, right? Yeah. So For sure 4 wins.
Well, and that's interesting. If you stick with that and not predict, you're going to have to predict the Rockwall Heath game here in a couple of weeks. I think that is interesting. I think they end 5-1, which bumps them to second place.
Yeah.
And bumps North Forney down to third. Okay, 6-0, 5-1, 4-2. I think that Rockwall is an interesting team because, and I wrote this on purpose today, and it goes to what Coach Brooks does. You got Duckworth, who is a major player.
Mm-hmm.
He's a junior. You got Hatcher, running back, who's a junior. Castro's done a little bit of running. He's a sophomore. Rickert is a junior. Bro, you got a team for next season.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
So they continue to build and build and build, and they got these younger guys getting heavily involved and doing very, very well. So I think Rockwall continues to do what they've always done, and I think they finished 5-1 for second place in district.
Yeah. It really depends on obviously that. I think the Heath game is the X factor here. That's the one that can change the entire district.
That's
up.
right.
And so we'll I'm not going to pick it yet. Still doing my homework, still making my phone calls, still reaching out to my people to try and really dissect that I-30 Classic game.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We'll see where that goes.
And the interesting thing about that is, didn't North Forney beat Rockwall Heath?
They did. They beat Rockwall Heath last second, probably. I think there's like 10 seconds left or something like that.
So with that being said, if Rockwall happened to drop that I-30 Classic, North Forney holds a tiebreaker for second place. Both are 4-2, but North Forney would hold the tiebreaker there because they beat Rockwall Heath, and Rockwall would drop one to Rockwall Heath.
Yeah. I'm not sure how all that. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's how it works.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Once you get past head to head, if that's and then one, I don't know. Yeah, that'd be interesting. So we'll see.
That's right. But that second and third determines where you go in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, I mean, no, because it's size, right? I mean, you could finish one in the district, but if you're a D2 school, you're going D2. You're just in the 1 seed in D2, right?
Gotcha.
So
or big school, little school.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So we'll see. Okay, let's go to
Tyler Legacy. 2-2.
2-2.
They got Rockwall and Forney left.
Rockwall and Forney. I mean. Well, obviously, I think they're going to lose to Rockwall, and I think there's a real chance, they lose to Forney. Forney, I think I got them losing both of those, to be quite honest, and I think Forney will have their running back back by then. He was out this last game versus Rockwall. And I talked to the Forney head coach before the game on the field, and he said that they were pretty confident that no surgery and that they would probably have him back in a couple weeks. So if that's the case, he's going to be back for a couple of big games.
Well, if they drop them both, that puts them at 2-4.
Yep.
So now let's go to Rockwall Heath, who's got Longview, Rockwall, and finishes in Forney. Currently sitting at 1-2.
Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, okay. So I'll just say this, and I kind of said this last week and maybe the week before. I think Heath finds a way to split Longview and Rockwall. I don't know which one. I do not know which one. I am. I've anybody who's Heath or whatever since I saw Carter Zom in 2 summers ago at flag football. I got invited to go see the Rockwall and Heath play in flag football. Their 8th grade team that was going into their freshman year, and I was like, wow, I think I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to put too much pressure on the kid, but from everything I hear and everything I see, he was hurt the first 6 games of the year. He comes back. He 90 something yards, couple of touchdowns. I didn't check stats this time. I know he had some touchdowns in the last game because I have all the highlights that had been sent to me. I think Carter is one of those kids that can elevate an offense. He can make others around him better by his presence on there. I think the fact that not a lot of people know about him just yet because he was sidelined for so long, and I also think that there's something to be said for him not being in total game shape because he's coming off an injury, right? I mean, you can simulate, you can work out, you can do all these things, but getting into a game and going 4 quarters and digging deep and having to fight, late in a game for some yardage. I mean, how ready can you be for that situation? As the year goes on, he's going to be stronger and stronger. I think he can make a difference in a game if Heath can figure. And how high I've been on the defense for Heath.
Sure.
I think they just got a great defense. I think it's some great young players. I think that if that defense can keep them in the game, and that defense has kept them in every single game, right? Then they're going to have an opportunity because they're going to have a playmaker on the offensive side of the ball that deep in the season. Now people will have a little tape on them. People see them. People got to account for them, and that's going to open things up for other people. I think Heath has a real chance to split between either Longview and Rockwall. I don't know which one. That would shake the whole thing up, obviously.
Well, yeah, and the interesting thing here is if we do the back and forth, right? If we do the back and forth part, Rockwall would go on the road to Legacy, home for Heath, away for North Forney. Well, Rockwall, Heath, if you did the same thing, and I didn't look at that part of the schedule. That means they would travel to Longview, and then play at home at Rockwall, and then travel to Forney.
Yep.
Well, playing in Longview, we know how tough that is, and then of course you're coming back for the hugest rivalry game of these seniors' life, to finish out their year. So, I've got them dropping 2 games and finishing at 2-4.
That's the easy pick, though.
I know, it's the easy pick, and now going back to Tyler Legacy, that leaves Tyler Legacy and Rockwall Heath both at 2-4, and Tyler Legacy would hold the tiebreaker because they beat Heath.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that would bump them into 4th, and that would knock Rockwall Heath out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
If everything stayed the way that we were talking.
Yeah.
And so that, man, that's tough. But I do think, man, Rockwall and Longview.
Like Tyler Legacy, I think they're going to have a tough time getting to 3 wins. Okay. You got to get to 3 wins, right?
Yep.
We know North Forney, Longview, they've already got 3 wins. And Rockwall, they're going to get their 3rd win. It really comes down to, Forney. I think Forney. I think 1-3. I mean, they got some tough games ahead of them. I think they're done. I think it really comes down to Rockwall Heath and Tyler Legacy. I'd be interested to see if there's a scenario where both of them finish, say, yeah. Well, no, because they would own the tiebreaker over them. Yeah, they'd own this. Yep. So even if they finish both 3-3.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
now if Rockwall Heath could find a way to do what you're talking about, sneak one away from the 2 big dogs, they're in.
Yeah, that's what it's going to take. It's going to take it's going to take them winning 2 of 3, and Tyler Legacy dropping their last 2. And I think it's possible, but I don't know.
And look, I've got Tyler Legacy dropping their last 2. Right, that means they would lose their last game to Forney. I think it depends on what Tyler Legacy team shows up. Right, I mean, we know that they're capable of winning. We know Forney, they're good, but they're beatable.
Imagine Forney and Tyler Legacy both finishing 2 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Rockwall Heath, dropping both Rockwall and Longview. That would mean that last place team gets in at 2 and 4.
Absolutely. I think a 2 and 4 team, the way this scenario plays out, if you've got Forney ending 2 and 4, Rockwall Heath 2 and 4, and Tyler Legacy 2 and 4, I mean, I think it's possible.
I wish I could go back and I wish I had a producer here to go back to our first show when we were talking about this, and I said, "There's going to be a team that gets in with a losing district record," and y'all said no. It looks right. It's right in front of us. Like it could happen. And I said that at the beginning of the year just because it was like, man, we knew Longview was going to be good. We thought, Forney coming off their state semifinals appearance in 5A. Yes, it was 5A, but doesn't mean there's not a good football team that they're going to be able to win some games. And they still could. They could come on strong at the end and mess it up for some folks, and then mess around and sneak in. You know what I mean? Like we don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, I don't think
Legacy, I believe, has a bye. I think they're off the last game of the season.
Okay.
When everybody else plays, right? So they're going to be sitting at home watching that Rockwall Heath game against Forney, because I do think Rockwall and Longview they're just strong, man, and they're good teams. Which takes you to the very last game of the year, and Rockwall Heath will have their, and if it plays out, to even just have a shot,
Yeah, I mean,
now if Tyler Legacy pulls off a win against Forney, it's over, and then Rockwall Heath drops. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, if
then even if Legacy beats Forney and Rockwall Heath beats Forney, Legacy.
Oh, so you're saying Tyler Legacy? Yeah, if Tyler Legacy wins one, that's going to be that would mean that Heath would have to run the table.
Well, Heath would have to.
They'd have to run the table.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Tyler Legacy would be, if they win one, they're at 3-3.
Yeah. A tie does Heath no good.
Yeah. So I mean, and I'm looking ahead. I mean, hey, we're talking about. We're predicting, right? And you never know what's going to happen. It's been a crazy year, right? I mean, You got Rockwall who's got to travel. Tyler Legacy. Let's say they drop a game, right? And then let's say
I would not want Longview and Rockwall one of my last 3 games.
Yeah.
2 of my last 3 games.
No.
I just wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Forney is sitting in a good spot. Their last 2 games are Tyler Legacy and Rockwall Heath. I mean, if you're going to play 2 teams, I'd want to be these would be the 2 teams, unless I was, obviously playing Roy City, but so Forney's sitting at 1-3 right now. They're on a bye this week. They finish up at Tyler Legacy and Rockwall Heath.
Question from the text here on Facebook. If a team gets in with a losing record, does that say something about 10-6A, or do the teams just play each other hard? Yeah, I started to say this a while ago, and that's why I brought up a team getting in with a losing record 5 weeks ago, or whenever I said it 6 weeks ago on the show. I just felt like, okay, Longview, we know what they're going to bring. Forney coming off a state semifinals. Rockwall and Heath have owned this district for a while. And then you've got, an up-and-coming Roy City team. At that time, we didn't know what Roy City was going to be, but we knew that, maybe they're going to stun some people year one. And then North Forney with all the transfers they got in and everything that they've been on the rise. It was like, man, these teams could just beat up on each other, and it looked like kind of, maybe somebody could get in with a losing record. I think it's more of a case that these teams are just playing each other hard. I think you've got good teams up and down this district. And that's the reason. It wouldn't shock me to see one of these teams in 4 rounds, in the 4th round of the playoffs, and that says a lot about 10-6A, right?
Yep.
So it wouldn't shock me if four of the teams that make it in 10-6A all win in round 1, and 3 of them get through round 2. That says a lot about 10-6A. they've got a tough road, once you started getting around 3 and things like that.
Yeah.
Who doesn't? But no, I think it says more about how tough this district is.
Yeah, I think you've got your top 3 figured out. With Longview, Rockwall, North Forney, and then I think you've got to fight for the last spot. It could work out a couple different ways. You could get shocked. Tyler Legacy could shock you. Rockwall Heath could shock you, and really, I mean, so could Forney. Although like I said, Forney and Tyler both have buys still coming up. So Rockwall Heath holds their destiny in their hands if they steal one away from Longview or Rockwall, and then they take care of business with Forney.
Yeah,
man. And so
I can't obviously if you're new to the show, or if you I typically don't pick a lot of games, just because sometimes we're playing Roy City versus Rockwall. Like I'm not gonna pick a game. I won't pick the I-30 Classic either, but I have a friend. I always make a phone call, and he tends to make an appearance every year. And that this year he'll do his bat thing to get here again, and Batman will be in studio, and Batman will pick the winner of the I-30 Classic. I will say that Batman has a perfect record. In 4 years, he has correctly picked all the winners.
Well, let's see if he's going to pick the right one this year.
Yeah. Well, there's the right one is the one he says, right? Because I mean he's undefeated, right?
Right.
You can't go against Batman when he's picking the I-30 Classic,
right?
So we'll see. We'll see who he picks. Is that next week?
I believe it's next week.
Next week, Batman will be in studio, and he will make an appearance, and maybe zip line in and make his pick, and then boom, bam, gone. So so we'll pick the I-30 Classic next week, and I can't really wait for that one.
Well, and again, going back, interesting if Forney is able to split right with Legacy and Heath. I think Rockwall Heath takes care of business. I've got them. I've got Forney beating Tyler Legacy and losing to Rockwall Heath. I think Heath is. I love Coach Webb. I think he's got a good thing going over there, and I think Heath is. They're right there.
Yeah.
So I think they lose to Rockwall Heath, and in the season 2 and 4, which gives you a 3-way tie record wise. But again, Legacy's gonna they're gonna. I think Legacy drops to Forney, but it's not going to matter because they'll end up with with.
Yeah. It's I think obviously we'll be a little bit closer to knowing what's going on. You got so who's off? Is anybody off?
Forney's off this week.
Forney's off this week. So Longview visits Heath this week.
Yep.
And
then we got Roy City.
And then
North Forney and Roy City this week.
Yeah.
And the Roy City is going to end the season with North Forney and Longview.
North Forney's got some good history against. Roy City's got some good history against North Forney, and they know them well. I think this is as close to. I would say, like, if I was like picking rivalries within the district, like this is one I would circle because they both came out of 5A. They both came up together in this district, right? And Roy City has some success. This is a scary game for North Forney because I do not think that North Forney is like a giant beater, right? I don't think like they're like this monster team that's like, oh man, they're gonna come in and crush you, right? I think that if they're going on the road to Roy City's very hungry. They want to win bad. I can tell you, I don't care if they win one. This is the one that they want to win, right?
So they're going to North Forney.
They're going to North Forney. Okay, I don't care. They've got to win one, and that's what they're hungry for. I think this is the one that Roy City would have to get, ending the year with Longview. You want to talk about just messing it all up? Roy City beating North Forney would just throw it all in chaos.
Would. No, it absolutely would. I love it.
Because then they got North Forney would still have Longview,
and Rockwall
and
to
Rockwall.
finish the year.
Yeah. So I mean, they I mean,
Yeah, I mean, dude, they could. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hey, go
Well,
Dogs! Freshman Black 6-1. There you go,
yeah.
North Forney tomorrow.
And again, I love Royce City. That's my team. That's why I'm here.
I'm not saying they're
Where I struggle, man, is I struggle in the backfield. I mean, on the defense, I struggle with my corners and my safeties for Royce City, and North Forney. If they got some high power with Legend and some other guys.
I mean, they threw for 37 yards in that game I watched against Heath.
I get it.
I mean, right? It's like if all they're going to do is run the ball, can Roy City stop the run? Now, North Forney, I mean, he had an arm, right? But I don't think he did much. If I'm thinking of I'm thinking of the right game. I'm pretty. Oh yes, yeah, I am.
So you got if you're looking at North Forney, you got Elijah, junior wide receiver averaging 62 yards a game.
Yeah.
And you've got Legend Bay, the quarterback, junior, averaging 214 yards a game.
Yeah.
Rushing.
Yeah. That's North Forney. I'm not saying that the kid Legend. I'm not saying he can't throw the ball.
Yeah.
But TCU was out there at that Heath North Forney game. They were there to look at him as a running back. They were there, right? They were like, we want him to run the ball at TCU. So I mean, he's not. It's not like he's out there, he's not Mr. Landon Locke, right? Where it's like, oh man, we got this quarterback that we're just going to be throwing all over the field. This big D1 recruit, he can run the ball, but that's what they have to worry about.
Well, here's the other thing too: is you got two other kids that are running the ball. Andikin, the junior running back, averaging 89 yards a game, and you got Kellen Sanders, senior, averaging 72. So you got a three horse pack back there that can run the ball, and I'm afraid that they may end up having just a little bit too much firepower and will end up wearing. And by the way, North Forney scores more points in the fourth quarter than they do in the first, second, and third. Right now, if you're looking
could be something where because they're running, the O line's putting so much pressure that
that's right.
Teams are tired by then.
That's right. I mean, they could just wear them down. Now, North Forney, their average per game is 33 points. Royce City's average is 26. Not that much of a difference, right? So, anything is possible. I just have a feeling that Royce City may get tired in the fourth quarter, and that could cause them some issues. Now, if they can figure out a way,
yeah. I mean, it comes down to this for Royce City at this point in the season. Are they motivated and they're playing for that win, right? They want to get out there and they've got something to prove and they want to go out winning and fighting, or have some kids secretly just kind of giving up and the coaches really don't see it, right? Because I guarantee you the coaches are coaching.
Absolutely,
they're preaching it, and they're like, hey, we're going to play to the last whistle of the game. But you still need the kids to buy in here, not trying to show some emotion like you're excited.
Sure.
I mean, like you actually believe like we can win a game. If that's the team that goes out there versus North Forney, if I knew that, if I was 1,000% sure, I'm not calling kids out or questioning them, but I have a son, and I know his attitude, and I know when his soccer team gets on a little bit of a losing streak, I know how he gets. So this is not a shot at a kid; it's just they're kids.
Sure.
But if I knew 1,000% that every kid was 1,000% committed in the head, in the heart, we're going to go out. I may pick Royce City to upset on the road versus North Forney, forgetting the records, because and that's what it comes down to. It just comes down to, do you want it more? Is the energy there? Do you believe more? Because they got the coaches. They still got some really good skill position players. Yeah, I mean they might appear weak here and there in certain positions. But I mean, I kind of say this, and I mean it. I say it seriously. I mean, you're only as strong as your weakest link, right? So that's up to the leaders to make sure that they're pulling everybody together.
Mhm.
We're keeping everybody together in this thing through the last second of the season. And if you got that kind of team, you can win. You can upset some people.
Yeah, I agree, and I think they do have the right attitude. I do believe. Again, I've said this from the start. I believe in what Coach Colvin is the seeds that he's planting there and what he's doing. I believe in that, and I don't. There's no way that these kids want to go out over. I just don't
Yeah.
think that's possible. But I also don't think Longview wants to drop a game either. They want to make a statement in 6A in their first season and go 6-0. Okay,
Right.
so let's take that last game off the table
Yeah.
because I think, I think Longview will take care of business and finish out their season and get ready for the playoffs. North Forney is the one that circled for Royce City. I agree with you. I think if Royce City can score some points and hang in there and have some fresh legs in there in that fourth quarter, I think they've got a chance. But they're going to have to sustain that for 4 full. They can't take any plays off. They can't make any mistakes against North Forney if you're going to do that because North Forney is too high-powered of an offense. So Royce City's got to play mistake-free football. They've got to score some points, and they've got to stay fresh and get to that fourth quarter, the second half of the fourth quarter, so that they can try to close it out. And I think they can do it if they can make it, put all the pieces together.
Yeah, and I'll kind of say it. I mean, because North Forney folks, if anybody's watching, I'm sorry, but I have a big old hug for the teams around here. Okay, no disrespect. I think they're high powered. I think they got home run potential. They got home run or strikeout, right? They're that kind of hitter at the plate, and that hitter is Legend, the quarterback, with his legs. What Heath was doing to him in that first half of that game, he was frustrated. He was that last play of the half, the very last play. He was absolutely frustrated with the pressure that the defensive ends and the linebackers were getting for Heath. You know, they were in control of him in that game, and then he hit some home runs.
Mm-hmm.
Right, he hit some home runs. If they find a way to slow him down or stop him, then they got a shot. They got a real shot at pulling off the upset for North Forney.
And I think that's what's different about this year North Forney as opposed to the last couple of years. North Forney's always had a big line. They've had big kids out there. They've had talented players, but they lose steam as the game goes on. Right? They're kind of like Legacy, right? They hit you real hard, and then they just kind of start to peter out a little bit. The difference in North Forney now is they are taking this all the way through the last play of the game, and that's why you see them. They were over. They got that last second win over Heath and some of the others, and I think that's what makes them different this year over the last few years. Even when they were in last place in district, they still had big kids and they still had some talent, but I think they're coached differently this year. They got a new coach. And they've got some talent, and somehow or another, that coach has them playing a full 4 quarters.
Yeah,
and I think that's what made the difference for them this year.
Yeah, no, I mean, no doubt. I mean, they were strong in the second half. They were leaning on Heath in that game that I saw them. So yeah, I mean, it ain't gonna be easy, but I think if Royce City's gonna find a way to win one, that's going to be the one they need to win.
Absolutely. No,
yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And now, of course, the last game of the year, I assume that's going to be senior night for Royce City. I assume it is. And so there'll be a lot of excitement in that game. And, Royce City will be pumped up. It's the last game of the year. Man, and again, look, I'm a homer again, that's why I'm here representing Royce City. But, real is real. And Longview's strong, dude. And
yeah. They're a good team.
They are.
They're a good team, and they're not. They know their identity. The programs. These kids have grown up through the school system, and they've played. They've all wanted to be Lobos. Longview's not much different than Rockwall, and
That's right.
and this area around here, Heath. It's just these kids have been growing up wanting to be a yellow jacket, a Lobo, a Bulldog, or a Hawk. Right? It's a smaller town. I mean, they're in place, and Roy City is that now they got a new coach, and now they're building their identity.
And you're right. I think that's what's so cool about Longview is they're still relatively small, right? So they're kind of in a bubble. And you're right; those kids grow up and they don't know nothing but being a Lobo.
Yeah.
So that's it. You're a Lobo or you're not.
Yeah.
And so, and I think their record reflects that over all these years. So,
yep.
Very strong. I think, again, this could all, this could all change. But I think we've got our at least our top two. I think we're pretty confident. Or I am pretty confident.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's not far off from what we said. Now we got a lot to determine for 3 and 4. I think, and a lot can happen, and we're gonna find out soon enough. What goes on, and it should be a fun week. Obviously, I'm not like breaking news, but by the end of next week, after the I-30 Classic, we'll know what's what.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll know what's what. Now we're probably just playing for the team. There might be a big game out there somewhere that might matter, but it really depends. I think Heath and Forney, they can do some damage in this thing.
Yep.
And they really can mess it all up, but it's the pressure's still on the other teams to finish this thing out halfway through the district season. So we'll see.
Yeah.
It is 5:58. We're here live, Rockwall Ford. Mr. James Branch, Chris Pena, Kevin Wingfield had the night off. He was tuning in. I saw him. We had to go on a little bit earlier tonight, so we appreciate always Mr. Wingfield, helping us out. So, but we seem to make our way through it tonight. So barely. Dallas Christian.
We're paying homage to him.
Yes, yeah. We have right here. This was him. So Dallas Christian has. They're looking good right now. I mean, obviously they've played some tough teams at home. They had some losses on their record, but throughout these state championship runs, they've had a loss on their resume. So I don't think it's really anything that's too concerning for them. They've looked pretty good. I've got Luke Carney's coming on. The defense is just swarming. I kind of said this once district play starts that they're going to just kind of run through that district because they are the big bully around there, and so it's really going to come down to the playoffs for them. The Chargers are trying to win their 4th state championship. We're going to learn a lot about them. Really. Week 3 of the playoffs. That's until then they're just gonna be running over people, and that's just who they are. It's in their DNA. It's who the quarterback is. So we'll see what happens later on with them. I'm not worrying Dallas Christian too much. Yeah.
Cool. Good deal.
All right. So we are going to cut this segment and let Mr. James Branch go. We have Heritage Christian Academy in the house. We have the Eagles, who are playing some lights out football, 6-man football, by the way. And it's we're going to catch up with Coach Mack and a couple players and see how the season has been going. Obviously, the stats say it's going very well, but we did have a question for him, right? And
that's what we do.
We're gonna ask and figure out where they go from this point in the season. So, Chris Pena, James Branch, we're live here at Rockwall Ford. We appreciate you tuning in. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Heritage Christian Football. We'll be right back.
Rockwall Ford is a proud sponsor of Rockwall County Game Day. Shop the Rock and score game-changing savings on our all-American lineup of new Fords. Shop our entire inventory online at rockwallford.com or build your truck your way at preordermyf150.com.
1. And we're back. We're live here at Rockwall Ford, joined by Heritage Christian Academy, the Eagles football coach, Matt, and Carson.
Sir.
Nobody heard him whistle that. Matt and Carson, guys, thanks for joining. Let me pull up my notes really quickly because it's been quite the year so far for the Eagles, and Coach Mack was nice enough to send me some stuff. This was early on, but 7-0. From what you told me, is it 6 games have not gone past halftime?
6 games, not past halftime.
Yeah, so
one barely into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, so the way it works in 6-man football is there is a mercy rule. Is that what it's called officially? Yeah, there's a mercy rule. So if you go up by 21, or is it
45?
45. Excuse me. Yes, I know. 45 by halftime, or at any point after halftime.
That's correct.
The game is over. The Eagles have accomplished this 6 times this year out of the 7.
7 times.
7 times?
Mhm.
Oh, goodness.
Sure.
See? Okay, 7 times. I thought you said 6 times. Oh,
By
6
halftime.
times by halftime, 1 time into the fourth quarter.
That's
so
correct.
I was trying to say it right in my head, but thank you for correcting
That's
me.
okay. We got it.
Coach Mack, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Glad to be back.
Congratulations on the season so far. There's lots to accomplish, but just kind of if you can elaborate, just kind of on the success that the kids have been having.
This is the same crew we've had since they were freshmen, so we've been working towards this. It's not really a surprise that we are 7-0. It's a surprise of how we've handled people.
Mhm.
We did not expect that. The schedule we put together, we moved up to Division II from Division III, and we thought we needed a tougher schedule, and we put together what looked like at the time a playoff schedule. Everybody had been on the playoffs that we were going to play, and it's taken us a while to figure out whether we're really a good team or did those teams fall off. Well, as the season's gone on, we've started to realize that we're just a good football team, and the kids are really dialed into it. They really understand that it's what we call a season to season instead of week to week. We play as a 1-game season, and so far we've been undefeated for 7 seasons this week.
Yeah,
This year. Sorry, this year. So it's really a testament to the kids. They are fully bought in. They've been bought in since the 7th grade, and this is their time with only 1 senior. We're doing this all with 1 senior.
Not up here.
Not
no.
up here.
Okay,
Turtle had to go to church.
so then let me ask you on this season, how it's gone and things like that. I know we had a question, me and James, when we were sitting here talking. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing that you've only played 6 of the games haven't gone past halftime?
That's a really good question. We get asked that a lot. I go to a lot of coaching clinics and I get asked the same question when I'm sitting on panels. And in 6-man football, usually you have a much smaller roster than what everybody's used to seeing on Friday night at Wilkerson Standards, and there's 70 kids out there. So for us, depth is an issue. So the 45-point rule is there for 2 reasons. 1, for the lesser teams to not get embarrassed, and 2, for the better teams to get out without injury. So to answer your question, the 45-point rule is good for us right now. We're not at all concerned about getting into the playoffs and having to play 4 quarters. We train and practice for that. We really do. Our practices are all sped up. They're all quick. They're all played exactly to our style. So we're not concerned at all about getting into a 4-quarter. As a matter of fact, we got into the 4th quarter of the 1 game versus Wiley Prep, and we were still ready to go. We would have finished the remaining 8 minutes without an issue.
Yeah, and it's a question. Just really, how do you handle it? How do the kids handle it, especially once they're pushed into some situations where things aren't easy, right? And we're having to go for, and we're trading scores here. This isn't a game we're going to win by 45. This is a game that we're trying to win by 1, right?
Yes.
And so. You're like, well, that's really good. Now, how will they fare once they get deep in the season? But you've talked about the training, the conditioning, just preparing for whatever comes your way.
Yes.
So that's good.
We're ready.
Yeah.
I should say these guys are ready. I am not conditioned to go 4 quarters.
My second hard hitting question for you, and don't go all Jerry Jones on me, okay?
You want me to fire you and bring somebody else
No,
on the show?
I mean you probably have that power, but let's calm down a little bit. I was just going to ask you where the helmet was.
That's a really good question. We were just talking about that. The helmet has been repaired.
Okay.
And it has all the new decals
Okay,
on it.
perfect.
It looks perfect.
Okay.
It's not here.
Okay.
It's sitting right next to my desk, looking nice and pretty.
All right.
So I'll have to run it up here next week without being on the show. I'll just run up and put it out for you, or you could stop by the school if you wanted to.
Yeah, I would love to stop by the school.
But it is just sitting there. It's nice and pretty.
Okay.
So I apologize to all our fans out there.
I just say, I was like, he took it, and I was like, we're gonna get something good back here, and so I was patiently waiting. I didn't want to call you out on the air, but
you did. So
yeah.
We got it covered. And
Coach Mack, the head football coach at Heritage Christian Academy, also the athletic coordinator, and probably has about a million other hats
director of
as
transportation.
well. Yes, but. The man behind all the stuff that you see is not here tonight, but so we got Coach Mack.
That was the best we could do.
Yes. Carson, Matt, let's start with you, Carson. Just heck of a year. Obviously, the stats speak for themselves. How's everything going this year for you guys?
It's going pretty good. We're looking really good this year.
Have you Coach talked about at the beginning of the year, and when I had you on, y'all were a little worried about size, right? You thought size would be something that would might hold you guys back. Obviously, to this point, it hasn't. But has anything surprised you about this team to this point?
Really just the willingness for, like, underclassmen to be ready whenever to come in. Like, last week we needed them, and then they were just ready.
The energy and the time that goes behind getting ready. So I was asking Coach just about, hey, is it help you or hurt you that these mercy rules go on? What was it like? What have you guys done to prepare for the year? Just, we probably talked about it weeks ago, but just preparing for the year and making sure that you're taking care of your bodies and your conditioning. What's all that been like for you guys?
Over the summer we did like 2 days, a couple of days a week, and we'd have like me and a couple of boys would go out to like Williams middle school field, and we'd go run on the field, just work on like quick bursts of energy because 6-man's like short, fast, and then relax and then do it again. So whenever you can have like quick bursts of energy, like we practice at we would do like speed lifting rather than like heavy. It's just, it helps us.
You're just trying to get that conditioning. That conditioning. It is a fast. The entire thing is just you can't put the camera down out there because you never know what's going to happen, either defensively or offensively. It moves so fast. Growing up together and doing all this together and having starting to see some success this late in the season. You're 7-0. What's it been like, for you guys just as a team, just away from coach, just being able to just say, man, we're doing really good, really well. Let's keep it going.
So we've all been together. How long?
Like the main group got here like 3rd, 4th, 5th grade.
It's like 8 years together.
Yeah.
It's special because we've been saying since we were little, let's go win a state championship. Let's go get a ring. Come on, it's our time. Let's go. So it's just nice to actually see it start coming our way and see if we can go finish it.
What you're 7 weeks in. So how many games you guys got left as far as district play goes?
So 2 left in district, and then we got playoffs.
Okay, 2 left in district. So you coach talked about just it's one season at a time, right? Every game's its own season. Is it hard to keep that focus, or is that just something that's been ingrained in you, and it's just something that's like it's just common for us? We're just one game, whatever happens, that's the end of that season, and we'll move on to the next one.
It's kind of hard not to look ahead a couple of weeks at like they're really good. We need to like prepare ourselves for them, but the thought process of taking it 1 week at a time is just better for us so that we don't get ahead of ourselves and so that we don't like start judging them based on film. It's like,
oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to underestimate it. A team
Exactly,
and just be like, oh, we should be able to handle them,
Mhm.
and then something sneaks up on you. Coach, can you just kind of elaborate on Carson, just kind of the year he's having, and what's kind of mean?
He's having a record-breaking
Yeah.
year. It's getting pretty close. We've had some really good athletes come through our program since 1995, and lots of big winning seasons. So this is another one in that line, and these boys understand that. But Carson's numbers are big. You're talking about 1,300 yards in 7 games, 58 attempts, and 31 touchdowns. That's more than half of his attempts are touchdowns. And we're only playing half games. If you think about that, that's 2,400, 2,600 yards, 60 touchdowns. If you did the math all the way out, obviously that wouldn't be true. If we were playing full games, we'd take him out here and there with these big leads. But if you do that out, that's a big year.
Yep.
Our passing numbers aren't as great in number. However, our starting quarterback is 11 for 13 with 7 touchdowns.
Mhm.
That's pretty consistent there. Carson also throws the ball a lot. We've got the biggest thing for us right now is that we haven't had the past couple of years. We've been good, but not where we are. Our blocking is great.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt's our center. Turtle came before the 6'4" kid. He plays our guard, tight end, and then we have a little Hudson Mullen, our little Hornet. He's a little 5'6" water bug that plays the wide receiver spot for us. But they're all great blockers. They're all great blockers, and they're just pushing people around this year. We're stronger and we're faster, and our size isn't creating much of a problem, or our height, we should say, is not creating a problem because we're big everywhere else. So Carson it's very rare on those 31 touchdowns that he's even touched.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean he's not a good running back. You're a great running back.
Oh, thank you.
Because the speed actually is there too. But we didn't even mention the fact that we have a fullback in our system. Well, actually, we have one that's on the field, but 2 of them, and they're twins, so they look exactly alike. And they're tearing it up on the offensive side. Well, they're tearing it up on offense and defense, but on offense, they're tearing it up. They don't let anybody. They take it personal. They don't let anybody touch the backfield. These guys on the front, we call the X, Y, and Z because they're all receivers. They're just tearing it up. They're making life easy for Carson.
Yeah, it's got to be fun, right? Obviously, you're scoring points like that, and things are just happening the way you practice them, and the way you work out, and the way, as you said, when you're growing up together, this is kind of what you envisioned. This is how you felt that it would go. Obviously, lots of work to do, but it's starting to look like things are turning around. Especially, I know last year was a letdown for you guys, and to be able to bounce back and build off of it and have that confidence, say we know who we are. We're going to go out and play Eagle football, and we're going to do our thing, and whatever happens. So far, so good. Good luck to you the rest of the way, Matt. Just as a entering the season. And having expectations, but then seeing the results actually play out on the field. How satisfying has it been for you as a player?
It's really satisfying. Probably the most the harder thing is to almost wrap your head around it. It's like, okay, I don't know, it feels like kind of all the 7 weeks, even though we split them into seasons, they kind of get all blurred together. It's like especially when you're knocking them out, kind of like that. You wake up and you're like, holy cow, we're about to go into playoffs. Are we a good team, or kind of what Coach Mack was talking about? Are we a good team, or are all these teams just not to our not to the level we're going to be playing against? And you wake up and you're 7-0, and it's take a step back and focus, try to wow, are we doing what we're supposed to be doing? I think we are.
Yeah,
to this point at least.
Well, I mean, I've always looked at teams that, if you're a really good team and you play a team that's not as good or not very good, if you go in there and you blow the doors off of them, that's what a really good team is supposed to do. If you were going to play a team that's not so great and you're just getting by, then that kind of, maybe it's consistently just getting by, it probably says a little bit about who you are. But when you have this big of a sample size, you got to say, okay, that's a team we got to worry about. That's a team that's on the radar and doing the right things consistently. That's the name of the game, right, Coach? I mean, you just got to be consistent, right?
We yeah, that is true. We are very consistent. I was tongue-tied there because of how well we execute. We do. We very few negative plays, and that's what we preach all the time: is no negative play, no negative play.
Yeah.
So, but they've been doing a great job of that. They're really, like I said, bought in. I don't like the word bought in, but they're really dialed into what we
Right.
like to do.
Yeah.
Because they've been bought in since they were in the 5th grade. And these guys have been coming to football games at Wisdom Field and throwing the ball around and watching the older guys and giving them 5 and their whole lives. So much like DC, same concept over there. They're dialed in. They know what's expected of them. They see the banners on the wall and they know this is what's expected of me. But to see them actually live it is a whole different thing. And these guys are absolutely living it.
Yeah, special stuff. Talking, the Eagles are 7-0, and they 7 games they've put a mercy rule on a team, and that's a big sign of a good team and a team that's doing things consistently and well, and having fun doing it. Matt, on that, just the consistency part of it. Does anything surprise you about this team, about how consistent you're just able to keep on doing it?
I wouldn't say surprised, but probably impressed, because I think that's kind of been our problem for the past couple of years, from our freshman year and our sophomore year, is we weren't the same team, and we definitely weren't as good as we are now. But in the past, we've been able to, we're able to shut a team out, or we have the ability to just put this team away and move on to next week. And we get lost in it, and then maybe they're coming back, and then we're playing a really tight game with a team we shouldn't be fighting with, and then someone gets hurt or something like that, and then it really actually costs us. Whereas this year, we were talking about it on the way to practice, me and Coach Nevins, we were like, man, we really haven't had a whole game get away from us like we have in the past years. Maybe a play or a drive or something, but then we're really good at focus on whoa, okay, catch ourselves and put another drive together, and then boom, we're right back at it.
Yes, that ability just to kind of overcome, and hey, we're going to make some mistakes, but quickly put it behind you and get back to work. That's a really good sign. How's obviously not? You guys aren't playing any golf right now?
When we can.
Yeah, they do.
Play pretty good.
Yeah.
Golf.
Yeah, still playing a little bit of golf.
They
All
play
right,
golf.
so. Because I'm assuming golf season starts pretty soon for you guys, or has already started.
We're mid-January to the 1st of May.
Okay, so you don't do any real fall stuff.
These guys go out and play on their own. But most of our entire golf team is on our football team, and some of them on our basketball team. So we just encourage them to get out. But they can tell you the rest of what they do.
Yeah.
We got our own little golf training area.
I know. I need to see it. I need to come over and hit some balls, and I want to see your bunker and things like that. So, Coach, guys, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. It's impressive stuff. I think 2 years ago it was like, man, they're putting up some numbers and they're doing some really good things. But this is a little bit. This is the next step. This is another level stuff,
sure.
right? And so, hey, just keep believing, keep trying to stay consistent, and good things will happen, right? So we'll look forward to seeing you soon enough. Are you home this week or next week?
No, we're not at home again until possibly the playoffs. We've qualified for the playoff. Now we're got our sights set on the district title.
Okay.
We win the district title, we get a home game, host a team from Abilene.
What's the race like? What's the district standings at the moment?
You've got us up at the top by ourselves, then Wiley Prep and Garland Christian and Lucas Christian are all right there together. Lucas Christian was picked to finish really high in our district, and we got them the week after next.
Okay.
So we play the two teams directly behind us in the standings the next 2 weeks.
Where's Lucas Christian? Where's
Lucas,
that?
Texas, out there with Todd Dodge.
Oh, okay.
Out there by Lovejoy.
Okay, yeah. All
We were out there
right,
yesterday for a volleyball game.
For a volleyball game?
Yeah, we just went out there.
Oh yeah. Oh, the girls.
Volleyball, yeah.
Yeah. So
They're doing great too. They're playoff eligible. Finished runner-up. Playoff game coming up November the 5th.
November. Is he going to be home?
No, it'll be in Irving.
Irving. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, we need to catch up. We have not shown the girls any love, or you guys any love. So we will. I'll put that on the schedule, and we'll get it done. So
Get the girls out here. They're really good.
yeah. Well, I think I've had.
You had them out here early.
No. I'm talking about I haven't shown them love being at a game.
Being at a game. Yes,
Yeah.
you need to get out.
Yes. Yeah. I need to get at both of you guys before the year's
Definitely
up,
need to
so.
get out to a volleyball. We have volleyball tomorrow night. These guys are rocking a student section that you wouldn't believe in a small
Yeah.
little
Is
school.
it your home tomorrow night?
Yeah, we're home tomorrow
Okay.
night for
All right.
senior night
All right.
for the
all right.
girls. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll
7 o'clock.
I'll be there because I am on a flight Friday morning, so Thursday night I'll go out and see some volleyball.
You guys better have the resistance ready to go.
All right.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
weird.
I'm going to play golf. I'm going to play Black Desert in Utah
Oh wow.
on Saturday, and then 2 really good courses in Vegas
Nice.
on Sunday, Monday.
He
Right.
caddies.
So
Okay.
no, I'm playing.
He caddies.
I did
I had to
caddy.
get him back.
I did caddy.
Yeah.
But I did caddy, but my back's just not good for it right now. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the week. Good luck this week, and then we'll see you soon enough. Okay, and I'll see you tomorrow night at the volleyball game.
We'll be in the student section.
It's on camera. I've said it. That's where I'm
Put
going to
you
be.
on the media list.
That's where I'm going to be. Yes. Oh yes, I need to be on the media list. All right. So. And I don't need to call anybody. You're
Don't
handling
wear
it.
any DC shirts.
No, no Dallas Cowboy shirts.
No,
Oh,
Dallas
no, that
Cowboys
works.
is okay.
Okay. All right.
The other
Cowboys.
blue DC.
Dallas Cowboys are not okay, but we're still holding on. Still
Don't get us
holding
wrong,
on.
Coach Wheeler. We love our Charger friends,
Yes.
but not in our gym.
All right. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We will see you guys next week. I-30 Classic Week is next week for Rockwall and Heath. Batman will be in studio next week to pick the winner of the I-30 Classic. If you're new to the show, if you're new to all this, Batman picks that game. Batman's 4-0. Batman has picked the winner correctly all 4 years that he decided to show up. So we will be interested to see who he picks next week to win the I-30 Classic. We will see you guys on game day. Have a good night. Have a good week. And that's it for us. Go Cowboys. Dak Prescott.